In July 23rd, 2014, my dad called 911 for my mom, who 3 days prior was sick and her balance was off. We assumed it was just food poisoning since the same day she got sick, we went to a new ice cream place. My dad knew it couldn't be food poisoning, so the ambulance took her to the hospital. That's when we found out that she had 2 strokes. And that time was a few years before this when I had to call 911 on my sister because she was eating a hard butterscotch candy and it went down her throat hole and got stuck in her throat. My mom did the Hamlet while I was on the phone with 911. Both of these times, first responders got here in time and did everything they knew to save them both. I will inform you about the importance of first responders in our society and inform you about the life of first responders. I have done enough research to get the information needed to back up what's being said. Most of you probably personally experienced first responders or see first responders in action around your town. You will be informed about the history of first responders, when it started, and what it's like to then to now, the challenges and rewards, and why first responders are important in our society. According to the article, A Brief History of Emergency Medical Services in the United States by the EMRA, the white paper and its recommendation to have more of a standardized emergency response have given way to the National Highway Safety Act of 1966, which has been established to the Department of Transportation (DOT). The DOT and the associated organization, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, have been crucial in getting the development of the EMS systems. The EMS Systems Act of 1973 provided funding in order to create over 300 EMS systems across the nation. By 1975, there were 32 EM residencies across the nation. According to the article on the birth of EMS, The History of Paramedics by Jims. In 1969, there was a document that was published which was stated about the deaths of vehicle accidents and several recommendations. Regardless of the document regulations, a few people believed there could be more that could have been done of the hospital setting, including advanced airway management, vascular access and medication administration, which have led in the creation and implementation of emergency medical technician, paramedic, EMTP. The first EMTP curriculum included 400 hours of lab, class, and clinical rotations in various hospital settings, followed by a 100-hour field internship. According to the article on what you should know about first responders by the Very Well Health, response times are usually seen as the most important aspect of first responders, law enforcement, fire department, and emergency medical services. Emergencies can escalate rapidly, and the emergency responders might have a chance to stop it if they get there in time. EMS giving CPR measures to someone in cardiac arrest, response times matter because the public expects the cries for help to be answered quickly in urgency. We want to think of the ambulance screaming down the street with lights flashing, siren railing. There is never going to be an emergency that's more important than our emergency. Challenges and rewards of first responders. According to an article by Charter College on the challenges and rewards of being a first responder, dream about being the first ones on the scene to save a life or prevent an accident from turning into something big. That is the life of all emergency medical technicians. They are employed in every state, which in 5 places like California, first responders are in especially high demand. Rewards making a difference. First responders are usually highly satisfied in the work we do, which may be due to our work being so important to society. You can have the confidence that you're making a difference in someone's life. Challenges work in a challenging environment. As a first responder, you can be faced with someone who has a contagious disease, kneel, bend, lift heavy weights, etc. All these can lead to injury to you as a first responder. According to the national emotional needs of the first responders, to support of many responders experience hypervigilance, which is the constant feeling of being on edge. In the news, they cover topics of sensational and graphic mental health struggles of first responders, including alcoholism or suicide, which is usually brought by the acute traumas, violent encounters, or death for the majority of the responders. It has been stated that the best way to lessen the impact of everyday complex trauma is to stay present to it and unpack difficult emotions as they come up, which you can achieve in a number of ways by achieving therapy, daily mindfulness, meditation, and then rely on the support from peers. According to the article on Coming to the Rescue of First Responders by ICEMA, as a first responder who is dedicated in heroic public health in our communities, but they tend to face frequent direct emergencies, which violence, death, trauma, societal struggles, etc. These factors are the alarming rate of unaddressed mental health, substance abuse, and first responders. About 1 in 5 firefighters and paramedics will suffer from PTSD, according to the National Association of Firefighters. The importance of first responders. According to the article by HuffPost, first responders do not only risk their lives, but also tend to foresight to think of the things they could or should be saved. Not replaceable, they think on the scenes when the owners are not. The country is great because it's built on the idea of voluntarism to help citizens when they can't help themselves. According to the article on the mobile first responders tested positive for the COVID-19 by Fox News. Stated by James Barber, our job is to take care of the city, the health of the city, and we take that very seriously, and to be able to do that, the health of our first responders is very important. In Mobile, Alabama, 6 firefighters and 1 police officer have tested positive for the antibodies that are related to the COVID-19. According to the article, 5 things you probably don't know about emergency medical services by Pima Medical Institute. There's a difference between EMT and paramedics. According to Malone, EMTs are relatively limited to basic life support, very few medications, and being a first responder to advanced life support, paramedics arrive. For paramedics, for not only do they have to go through the whole curriculum and program, they have to receive additional certification in advanced cardiac life support, etc. As stated above, I have informed you about the importance of first responders in our society and informed you about the life of first responders. Today you have heard about the history of first responders, the challenges and rewards, and also the importance of first responders in our society. First responders are the most important jobs in our country because they risk their lives every day to save the lives of others and go through harm's way just to save a life.